Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Spike and I were having a conversation and he was fine. I mean, fine as Spike can be. And then I went to check on you guys, and when I got back, it was like he was a completely different person.
Different like William the Bloody type different?
He was talking to someone. I heard through the door he was having this conversation. And then he started singing.
Maybe it's another musical. A much crappier musical.
He mentioned something about a song in the cellar. And he changed there, too. I mean, instantly became another person.
Trigger.
The horse?
No, in his head. It's a trigger. It's a brainwashing term. It's how the military makes sleeper agents. They brainwash operatives and condition them with a specific trigger, like a song, that makes them drastically change at a moment's notice.
Is this left over from your days in the Army?
No, this is left over from every Army movie I've ever seen.
¿Cómo estás? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reaction. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 9, titled Never Leave Me. Directed by David Solomon, written by Drew Goddard. Original air date November 26, 2002, to an audience of 4.83 million people. And everybody, before we get into this, we've got quite a few shout out galore. Want to give a shout out to Car4288. Thank you so much for the Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review. You're going to do Andrea W1010. Thank you so much. It's so fun reliving the first watch surprises in Buffy and Angel. Yeah, they love it. And also, a Spotify user who begrudgingly came to Apple to do this review. Thank you, a sketchy grandma. That is our Discord user, a sketchy grandma. Thank you so much. Very happy that you did that. Vance, take it away, buddy.
We have a 5-star Spotify shout out from our Discord user, Angie Tink. Thank you, Angie, who has just binge listened the podcast in like 2 weeks to catch up so that she could join the Patreon, join the Discord. We thank you. We appreciate it. You know what, though? Go back, check out those recap episodes. I know you've been skipping over them. Now you got all the time in the world to go back and listen to them. All the predictions and all the loveliness.
I feel like Angie won't understand what espresso pumped is without listening to that.
Espresso pumped was brought up in the Dracula episode. Except for the shirt. But the shirt design.
The shirt. Did we just spoil that? We spoiled that. I spoiled that. Sorry.
I don't think you can spoil anything.
I don't think it matters.
If you're still listening to this, you like the podcast. And speaking of someone who likes the podcast, we have another 5-star review from Apple Podcasts from our Discord user, Mimosa Slayer 87.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for being a fan of the boys. And loving some of our voices.
And that's a wrap on the shout outs, right?
I believe so.
I think so. If you want to get your own shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, take a screenshot of it and send it to us and we'll give you that shout out. Shout out. We got a 2-star review too from someone who will not be named. But I loved the title of it was like, I hope this gets better. And then literally the next review is a 5-star review that says, keeps getting better. It's like, yes. The juxtaposition of this.
The battle in the review section.
It's so perfect. It's so funny. But yeah, join our Discord. That's where we got a lot of lively conversations about Buffy, Angel, everything. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we're doing Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies. We just did our Scooby-Doo 1 movie podcast. Who knows what's going to happen? If you listen to that podcast, you know what's coming next. Mm-hmm. And there's also Joe's Fashion Report /corner on the Patreon. All right, with all of that out of the way, what'd you think about this episode, Vance? Never Leave Me.
I think it's an okay episode.
Same.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
I think it's okay. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about, though.
Stuff's ramping up.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's ramping up. A lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
Big reveals in this one. Big reveals.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So let's get fucking cracking, all right? I'm Zero Ultra. I know that you're Peachy Keen.
I am Peachy Keen.
But I just wanted Zero Ultra today.
Hey.
I don't know. I knew that you were coming in Peachy Keen, but I was like, I fucking want Zero Ultra.
We don't have to be the same. I don't know. That was the thing you started.
I know. But cheers. Thanks for that. Oh, if you want to send us some more of these fucking energy drinks, Amazon wishlist. We also got other stuff on there too. Don't forget about that. Vance still hasn't gotten his Nintendo Switch.
Nope. I've given up hope on ever getting a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, well. All right. So this episode opens up with the longest recap I think we've ever seen.
I think there was one earlier that was longer. This one went on, but
I don't know, man. This one is long. Like, they played out whole scenes, it seemed like.
I will say, at the beginning, I thought I was watching the wrong episode. I thought I just was watching last episode.
So this one opens up with a recap of the duo coming back. Dawn seeing Joyce as like an angelic spirit saying that Buffy won't choose her. Willow saying that it wasn't Joyce and it's some kind of big bad that's messing with all of them. Spike can feel something coming. Girls getting killed by the cloaked people. Spike feeding on that lady recap. Spike saying from beneath you it devours. Buffy taking Spike in recap from last episode. Robson getting killed. Giles about to die. And also Jonathan getting killed. This is all in the recap. Like, they played out whole scenes in this, I feel like.
Yeah.
Now, what were our predictions?
Ooh, predictions.
Because I know that it was a big point of contention that we're like, if Giles survives this axe to the head, fuck that.
Yeah, and they showed that shot again.
Yes.
And it's
they didn't try to retcon it at all.
Well, they showed the clip. They haven't shown the aftermath yet.
I think they're not going to at this point, and Giles is just going to be alive.
I think he's going to have another one of his like dramatic, heroic entrances.
Yes.
And I'm not going to love it.
Yeah. You can only play that card so many times.
It was perfect last season.
Yeah. It gave me chills.
Yeah. Okay, our predictions. I said Giles on deathbed. You kind of doubled down on that a little bit. And then you said Buffy watching over Spike. Big bad Spike. Something. Spike fights a big bad or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give myself,
you're on it. You're on it.
A healthy percentage on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So the episode actually opens up with Xander looking at how he's going to repair those windows that got shattered. Contracty goodness, everybody. We called that.
He's going to be busy.
Yeah, and then so Dawn's talking to Willow and she's asking about like, hey, why is Spike still around, dude? Like, why are we still looking after him? And Anya's like, yeah, I think we should stab him in the chest. I think we should just get rid of this guy. And then Willow's like, I don't know, Buffy's got a plan. But Willow's like sticking up for Buffy, like, I wouldn't do that. I'm sure Buffy knows what she's doing. Spike can feel something coming.
He can feel it coming in the air tonight.
It's like, can't you all feel something coming at this point? Like, why do you need Spike for this at this point?
I know I mentioned this on Discord, but someone had said, I think Saber had mentioned that, well, yeah, Spike, they need Spike to figure out this thing because he's been closest to it. And I was like, hasn't Willow been closest to it? Like, it revealed itself and said who it was to Willow, straight up to her face.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dawn's still not convinced it wasn't Joyce that talked to her.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. They want to keep Spike on the show.
Yeah.
But there's no point to this.
I love that Dawn this season is great. She's asking real questions.
Oh, yeah.
And Anya talks about killing Spike as if she didn't just have Buffy try to kill her recently. Like, she doesn't even bring that up. She's not like, oh, well, she stabbed me through the heart, but I guess Spike, she can't. That is what Anya would say. Anya would be snarky like that.
I mean, she does snarkily turn to Xander at this point, and she's like, what about you? You've been on the team kill Spike train since like season 2. What do you think about this? And then Xander, in all of his dad energy, says, I have a house to put back together.
Yeah, it's like you just want to brush past that. You tried to stab him like every season.
Yeah. But yeah, Anya goes back to like, well, even if we're not going to do it right now, I think we should prepare. We should be prepared to kill this guy because he's bad news.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we got some flack for that in Discord about like, oh yeah, we've been always saying like, why don't you trust Buffy? Why don't you trust Buffy? Because Buffy's saying this keeps Spike alive. But
we've never trusted Buffy when it comes to keeping murderous vampires that she's having sex with alive. That's the one. Like, you can trust Buffy all you want, but not with that.
Yeah, I mean, just all of the torment that she could just alleviate herself with, like, it's so easy.
I mean, like, 12 to 20 people just died because of Spike.
Yeah. But Buffy knows something. And Spike knows something, too. Good Lord.
Right, that's the first scene.
Yeah. So then we go to Andrew, who is just fresh off of killing Jonathan in the school basement. And he's walking around. He's got his long trench coat on. And he's walking. He looks badass. And Warren shows up. Fake Warren that's in his head is like, hey, so sorry that didn't work and you unnecessarily killed Jonathan, but like, we'll fix it. And Andrew's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to kill anybody. And Warren's like, no, look, dude, you need to. I can't do it myself because I'm a ghost. Here, Andrew puts his hands through him. He's like, I can't take corporeal form. So I need your help, dude. I need your help. And Andrew's just like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to help you anymore, man. Like, I don't want to kill people. I don't think I can do it. And I felt bad killing Jonathan. And then Warren transforms into Jonathan. And Jonathan is talking to Andrew now. And he's like, come on, it wasn't even that big of a deal. It didn't even hurt that bad. It was just a little burn and a little bit of a pain. And it felt like a tummy ache. And then I was gone. It was fine. Don't worry about it. We just need you to do some stuff. And Andrew's like, no, I can't do it anymore, man. Can't do it. Can't kill anyone else. And then they're like, all right, well, we'll find a workaround. We'll work around this. I'm surprised that Andrew has lasted as long as he has.
Yeah, a little same. It's interesting of the trio that he's still the one around.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good actor. I like him. He's an interesting character, but I wouldn't have suspected him to.
Yeah, I like him in this. He seems exactly the same in Cabin in the Woods, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen him in I might have seen him in other stuff and not known it was him. So I just don't know.
Yeah. So then we go back to the Summers house, and Buffy is tying Spike to a chair. And she's like, hey, is this all right? Is this all good? And Spike's like, no, make it tighter. Because if I get free, someone's gonna die. And Buffy's like, all right. Ties him up.
My note, he can definitely break out of that chair.
Yes, dude.
Build a library jail into your house. Like,
yes.
This does not make sense. They tie him to a chair. The chair is made of wood and is very flimsy. It's a chair. He's a vampire.
Yeah.
What are we
it's
doing?
It's not even like holy water infused rope or anything. Like
Can vampires not use their vampire teeth to bite through ropes?
I guess he would have to get his mouth to the rope.
He has like a lot of like flex. I think he can really move a lot.
You think
in
he's
that
flexible like that? I don't know if I could. I? Yeah, I could. Never mind. That doesn't take that much flexibility.
I was like, what are you doing on those in that circ? What is that?
Dude, I have a lot of doubts about my abilities. There was this one time when I was living in New York, I had this couch and I was hanging out with my buddy at Tiff. And I was like, I don't think I can jump over this couch. I don't know if I could. He was like, of course you could. And then he did it like so easily. And then that inspired me. And then I did it. And it was like not a problem at all. He was like, yeah, I can't believe you thought that you couldn't do that.
Oh my God. That's the worst white men can't jump spinoff I've ever heard of.
You think you can jump over this couch?
He can't jump over that couch.
Yeah, I doubt my abilities a lot, Vance. I gotta get some more self-confidence, you know?
Yeah, I'm just saying Spike can get out. When I saw them tying him up, I was like, Spike can get out of this. This is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, then we go to the school and Principal Wood is there and he's admonishing two kids who like spray painted on the school or something. And he's like, hey, you gotta paint this, repaint this or you're going to get suspended and this is going to go on your permanent record. And the kids are like, yeah, we're not going to repaint it. And then Principal Wood is like, all right, yeah, you know what? I was bluffing. All right. I really don't want to suspend you. That's a lot of work for me. And that whole permanent record thing, that's all a myth, which is something we've talked about.
Yes.
When he said that, I was like, yes, vindication.
Yeah. Sometimes the show just throws out something and you're like, all right, they get it. They get it.
Yeah. But so then he's like, you know what? I don't really want to suspend you. I don't want to do all this stuff. It's a lot of work for me. So what I think I will do is I might call the cops. Just let them deal with it because this is destruction of property. This is vandalism. They can take care of it, and then that's off of my plate. So, do you want to do that, or do you want to repaint it? And the kids are like, we'll repaint it. We don't want the cops.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the cops have to deal with like 40 neck puncture wounds.
Yeah.
They're going to come to the school to deal with some repaint shit.
If the kids were smart, they'd be like, yeah, we'll deal with the cops. They're pretty idiots.
Yeah.
They're idiots. We could probably pin this on someone else by the time they get here.
The cops show up and they're like, we were just dealing with a floating lady. We're good. We can handle this.
Yeah.
We'll deal with anything except for all the crazy shit that's going on in this fucking city.
Mm-hmm.
So then Dawn knocks on Principal Wood's door, and Principal Wood opens up. He's like, oh, hey, what's up, Dawn? And Dawn's like, I'm just here to tell you that Buffy is not going to be in today. And he's like, oh, it's okay. She's like, she's feeling sick. He's like, okay. And she's like, she's vomiting. He's like, okay. And she's vomiting, and then she vomited some more, and she's vomiting again. Okay. And now it's coming out of both ends. She's got diarrhea and she's vomiting. Principal was like, all right, I get it. She's not coming in. Tell her to feel better. And Dawn's like, okay, goodbye.
I love that Dawn was getting a kick out of just making Buffy seem like she's doing the worst stuff. Such a little sister move.
Yeah. Buffy comes in the next day. Principal Wood's like, hey, heard you were shitting your pants yesterday. Like, what's up?
And Buffy like stumbles over the lie. She can't remember.
And she's like, Dawn.
She was like, but I had to, Buffy, yeah.
So then Principal Wood's like, tell Buffy, like, I hope she's laying down and getting a bunch of rest and relaxing. Cut to Buffy on the phone with the Watchers Council. She can't find Giles. She's called him. She's tried all of his internet. She tried to email him. She tried to call him. She tried to page him. Can't track him down. And then the Watchers Council are like, well, we can't track him down. Well, we're not his fucking babysitters. He's also not even really a part of the Watchers anymore. And I was like, since when? I thought that he was fucking reinstated.
And they did mention that before last season when he came back that he was doing something with the Watchers, or, you know, it was implied that he was still with them. But I think they're lying in this statement.
Yes.
But it's hard to know that until the end of the episode or like a little later. So when he says it, you're like, wait, what? But yeah.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, oh, bullshit, you can't find him. You have your ways. Your guys are the bureaucratic fucking way to keep tabs on people. Like, why don't you figure out a way to find him? And then Travers is like, all right, fine. I'll do my best and I'll get back to you. And then he hangs up and he turns to the rest of the Watchers Council, who is just at a big, long desk. And he goes, the girl knows nothing. And we need to find Rupert Giles as soon as possible. Uh-oh. Something's fishy going on.
It's like, and we're finally seeing the Watchers.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the Summers home, and Spike is freaking out in the room. He's all tied up. He's vamp faced, and he's like, row, 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 row. And Buffy comes in, and he's all vamp faced, and he kind of like lunges at her from the chair, and she's like, whoa, somebody's a little cranky. Somebody didn't have his morning coffee.
You know how you get when you're hungry. Have a Snickers.
Oh, and then so Buffy leaves and Willow's there and she's like, how's he doing? And Buffy's like, he's having a rough time, man. He's going through some withdrawals. You know all about that. We need to get him some blood.
I literally wrote in the scene before she said withdrawals, I was like, Spike going through vampire withdrawals.
Yeah.
Like, they love that.
Yeah. And they're like, we got to get him some blood. And Willow's like, how about I kill Anya? And then Buffy like stops and considers it. And she's like, no. I was like, what?
Tonally, that was just all off for me.
Same. I was like, that is such a weird line.
I was like, too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just tried to kill her. Like, legitimately. And now you're joking about it? You guys were sitting in the living room like, hey, I think we have to really kill Anya. Now it's just like a big joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Buffy's like, nah, we should get him some animal blood. And then she's like, Willow, will you go get the animal blood? And Willow's like, I don't know. Can Xander go get it? And Xander's fixing up the house. He can't go get the blood. So
no,
Willow's
she volunteers.
like, right.
She volunteers to get it because she doesn't want to listen to Xander talk about tools.
Yeah. She's got to get out of the house because she can't listen to Xander talk about construction stuff anymore. So she's happy to go, but Buffy's like, yeah, Spike's in bad shape, dude. We got to get this blood to him ASAP. So then we go to Andrew and Warren, and Andrew's got a big old knife, a big old blade. And he's like, I don't think I can do it. I told you I can't do it. And Warren's like, come on, man. It's just a quick slit of the throat. That's all you got to do. It's not going to be that hard. It's not that difficult. It's not going to be that painful. This is all you got to do is just slit their throat and it'll be done quick. And then cut to reveal that they have a little pig there and they're going to sacrifice the pig. And it's a very cute little pig. And Andrew's like, no, I can't. The baby pig in the city is too cute. And Warren's like, shut up, bitch. Just do it. And then so Andrew just starts diving at the pig. and lunging towards it, and he can't catch it. And Warren is there like, oh my God, you idiot. You got to corner it. You got to trap it. What are you doing? This is dumb. You're so bad. And then Andrew's like, isn't there another way to get blood, man? Why do I have to kill a fresh pig? And then Warren is like, there is one other way.
Now, I think we might have skipped over the fact that they're doing this because the blood killing of Jonathan didn't work.
Yeah.
And Jonathan is mentioning like, oh, I'm anemic and blah, blah, blah. I should have mentioned this and, just banter. And I was like, when we saw that shot, a lot of blood spilled out of him.
Yeah, a lot of CGI blood.
Yeah. More than I think is going to come out of this little pig.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
And
Jonathan is a much bigger. I mean, I know that Jonathan's short, but he's a lot bigger than that pig.
And what kind of ritual can use either pig's blood or human blood? Or would we find out later? Like, is it supposed to be specific? Is there no specificity to this? It's just blood in general?
I don't know. I always assume that it needs to be the blood of a virgin. So I'm guessing do you think Jonathan's a virgin?
No,
does it count? The Superstar universe where he's banging the twins, does that count?
No, I don't think it has to be virgin now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why a pig would work. If a pig would work, why did you even go through the hassle of killing Jonathan?
Just to kill.
Just to kill him. Yeah.
Just to kill.
Because
he was like leaning on like telling Buffy about it too.
Yeah, but like if the blood worked, then I don't think he would survive the next step.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's always a question too of like how much blood is necessary, because we've seen like, oh, I'm going to kill you and drain all of your blood. And then we'll just see somebody like cut their palm and just a couple drips.
It took less blood to open those dimensions up when Dawn was the key. They made it seem it was like a drop and that thing was opening up portals.
Yeah. Dragons flying about. Insanity.
I love that didn't they reference that last season or this season?
I think they did.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there is another way to get blood. Cut to the butcher shop. Andrew's there and he's ordering like, hey, I want 12 pork chops, 2 links of sausage, 12 quarts of pig's blood, and maybe also a little bit of chicken breast. And
he says he tries to order toothpaste, and I don't understand why he said that.
Yeah. But yeah.
This guy does not flinch when he asks for blood, though.
I know.
And it was
Is that a common thing? Is that a thing that people can order?
Like I know they make blood sausage a lot in overseas and in London in England. Blood sausage is very popular. And I'm sure they have some blood, but not that amount in the because the animal is usually drained. Like when you get the animal and they get the big hunk of meat and then they butcher it, they cut the meat down. Like I've seen butcher, like there's YouTube where they like butcher and do all that stuff. They're not like draining it. That's already done.
I feel like this butcher might be on the take though with the vampires. So
he works in Sunnydale. That's the only way you make money.
Yeah. He's the richest man in Sunnydale.
But didn't we see Angel like buying it or Spike buying it like shadily in the meat? They were actually at the meat place, like where they actually kill the animals. And he was buying it from a guy. He was like, hey, here's some money. Get me this much blood. This one is deli counter, people waiting. Give me.
Yeah. When Angel bought it, it was like in a back alley, like slaughterhouse. And there was like
slaughterhouse.
Smoke coming up from the ground. It looked shady.
Yeah, that's where it would be.
This is also,
slaughterhouse would have it more than a butcher shop. Because you're not going to sell that much unless you're in a vampire town.
Yeah. And it's also in the middle of the day. So I feel like the guy would have been kind of suspicious of like, how's this vampire? I mean, he's dressed kind of like a vampire. He's got the leather trench coat.
Oh, he just assumed he has his he calls him Neo.
Yeah, I love that he just called him Neo.
Yeah.
I don't got toothpaste, Neo. Oh, well, then just all that other stuff then.
Yeah. He's like, all right, another guy wanted a bunch of blood.
We need this blood to keep your boyfriend alive like that other bimbo.
I know, magic shop closed down, magic box closed, so yeah, everyone's coming here for blood and chicken feets.
No, I don't got no stinking eye of newt. Get out of here.
Oh, wait, that's just mustard seed? Yeah, we got some in the back.
So Andrew's waiting for his order and quickly, very quickly gets it. He gives it to him in his paper bag, and Andrew's heading out and literally runs into Willow. And he sees her and he's like, oh, shit. And he starts running.
Everybody that saw that happen in the butcher shop, don't react. No reaction from people seeing two people that looked like they were going to murder each other when they saw each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Andrew just drops all of his stuff. He starts running, and Willow starts chasing after him, and she catches up to him really quick, just like in the alley next to the butcher shop.
Which looks like the alley next to the police station.
Yeah. So Andrew turns around after getting caught, and he's like, please don't kill me. Please don't flay me. I like my skin. Don't send me to a pain dimension. And he's like, please don't. I've changed. I'm good now. I'm a good guy now. And Willow's like, really? Then why were you buying a fuck ton of blood? And he goes, all right, I'm not good. I'm evil. I'm head evil. I'm insanely evil. And then Willow just like shoves him up against the wall. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here, huh? What are you doing here, you loser? And then he's like, I don't know. Please don't flay me. And then Willow starts talking all that nerdy witch shit. And she's like, I am a witchy goddess, and I will bring down my wrath from the heavens of the goddess Ithaca or whatever.
Yeah, she says.
And it intimidates Andrew.
She says, I am Willow. I am death. Channeling her inner Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm. And then she's like, okay, you understand? And he's like, okay, fine, yeah. And then so she drags him back to Buffy's house. And she's like, look what I fucking found at the butcher shop buying blood. And Xander's like, this is not good, dude. What the fuck? What are you doing back in town? And then he's like, oh, it's just hanging out. And then they tie him up.
Mm-hmm.
Xander ties up Andrew, and they're asking him for info. And Xander and Anya start doing this good cop, bad cop routine.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's good. Sorry.
Xander's like, look, man, I don't want anything bad to happen to you, but you gotta give us info. What are you doing here? What are you doing buying blood? And Andrew's like, I started seeing a woman vampire in Mexico, and I came all the way up to Sunnydale to get her some blood because we're going to start a new life together here in Sunnydale. And
I like that. That's quick thinking. I like that a lot. It's better than what he said to Willow, where it's like, I didn't kill Tara. That was Warren, and he meant to shoot Buffy instead. And Willow's like, yeah, that's not helping or any better.
Yeah. And so after he tells this elaborate lie about being in love with a vampire, Anya walks over and she's bad cop, and she just like, stop lying. And she slaps the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Xander's like, Anya, whoa, can I talk to you in the hallway for a second? And she's like, yeah, sure. And then Andrew's like sitting there and he's all frazzled. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, dude, I'm getting slapped. This sucks. So Xander and Anya go out into the hallway. And then we go over to Buffy and Spike, who are like a room away. And Buffy is feeding Spike some pig's blood. And Spike's like,
This might be the weirdest scene in the whole episode. The look on Buffy's face watching him suckle
from the teat.
Yeah. And she's just holding him. I'm like, what is happening? What is going through her mind right now?
Yeah, he looks like he's got like that bag of Franzia. You remember that? Like slap the bag.
Yeah.
But he is going to town on it. He is like,
And I
Buffy's
can't
like,
tell if
"Ooh,
she's
boy."
disgusted or confused. The look on Buffy's face. Yeah.
So Xander and Anya are in the bathroom and they're discussing their good cop, bad cop routine. And Anya is absolutely stoked. She's like, dude, I slapped the shit out of that guy. And Xander's like, yeah, that was awesome. This good cop, bad cop thing is going real good. And we're going to have that guy, we're going to have that pig singing in any amount of time. And then so Buffy comes in and she's like, hey, how's it going with your guy? And Xander's like, yeah, we're just about to pump him. He's about to get pumped. Wait a minute, that sounds gay, I guess. Never mind. No, he's about to give up the info.
I'll be pumping him in no time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun scene. It's nice to see Xander and Anya like working together again. And
I thought they were going to kiss. I
thought so
honestly
too. I
thought
was
they were
like,
gonna
is this their way back in together?
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know. It was cute though.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Buffy goes back in with Spike, and Spike's talking to her. He's like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember what I did. I just see flashes of stuff. I've been losing time recently. I'll like wake up in strange places, and it's crazy. And then Buffy goes, so since when did your chip stop working? And Spike goes, things have been weird since, things have been wonky since I got my soul back. And I was like, we just saw the chip work when you punched Xander.
Yeah, I was having some issues with this scene because it was like him saying, oh, I thought this was what having a soul was like, was a way for him to be like, oh yeah, I lost time, but I hadn't had a soul in so long. I figured this is what being normal felt like. So it was kind of a way for him to wash over some stuff. But he was so defensive when Buffy accused him last episode. He's like, what? I didn't do anything to that girl. And then this episode, he's like, yeah, I've been forgetting everything all the time.
So we saw him punch Xander and the chip worked to give him some brain pain.
Yeah.
But then also thinking back, like he has been biting people and he hasn't been having brain pain.
Yeah.
So is that courtesy of From Beneath You It Devours guy? Like he takes away the pain?
I've always thought the chip is like the invitation rules, and I don't understand who's like constantly watching to make sure that the little nuances aren't broken, you know? It's like, okay, well, you punched that person, but that person technically was a demon, but that one isn't a demon, so you can't. Yeah, I don't know how this. Yeah, I wasn't even. If his body. It seems like that's too easy for the chip to not work if he's being like triggered or something, you know?
Yeah, like, and is the chip working like half the time? Because I mean, we saw it work when he punched Xander.
Yes, when he was. I've called the other Spike evil Spike.
Mm-hmm.
So if we consider this Spike good Spike, if good Spike does something, the chip still bothers him.
Okay, and if evil Spike is convincing him to do it, it doesn't?
Yeah, but I don't understand how that works physically.
Yeah, because it's a physiological thing.
Yes. This chip seems like it's something you could physically remove.
And we also mentioned this last episode, but like 2 seasons ago, we saw him just, if you got a thought about hurting somebody, the chip would activate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't believe the chip is still in play in season 7.
I know. Yeah.
Here's your soul, and I remove that thing in your brain.
Yeah. But anyway, so after he tells Buffy, he's like, things have been weird since I got my soul back. Buffy's like, how did you do it, by the way? How did you get your soul back? And Spike's like, I saw a man who does things. And Buffy's like, okay. The vaguest explanation possible.
It drove me crazy. My notes say, why didn't she ask episodes ago?
Yeah.
When he's lying on the cross, throwing himself across the cross, and you're just like, he got his soul back. And her face was like, oh my God. And then she goes, I'm just going to go to work. What? That's all you do. The whole next day, you just say, "How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
Yeah.
How'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Explain it in detail."
Yeah.
Did
And so he's like, I saw a guy who knows how to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, that was it? That's all it took? And he's like, no, it was a long and arduous and complicated process. There were trials. There was a lot of suffering that I had to endure to get my soul. And I did it all for you. And now I understand that you used me. You used me, Buffy. How dare you? I'm sad about it. But I understand why you used me, because you hated yourself. And you took it out on me. And I finally understand that now. And Buffy's like, no, I didn't. No. And Spike's like, no. I get it. I'm self-loathing, and since I got my soul back, I fucking hate myself, and I never used to feel that way. But now I understand the violence that you have inside of you. And Buffy's like, oh, I have fucking violence inside of me, shut up. And he's like, no, you do.
Yeah, this, I don't know what they're doing with Buffy sometimes.
Yeah, it's like Spike is gaslighting her and being like, you're evil and you're bad.
Yeah, I just, because does she hate her? Why did she hate herself? I didn't think she hated herself when she hooked up with Spike. That wasn't the reasoning. And this is what Webbs has been talking about too recently. But I felt like she was just in that malaise of, I don't want to be here anymore, and I don't know what to do, and I don't care.
Yeah, like I had a way out and I got sucked back in, and I fucking hate this. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, and now it's just like, oh, you used me. How dare you use me, Buffy?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you did tell me that you were using me, but I couldn't see it because I was like,
you admitted it. You admitted that you used me.
Yeah. I just don't.
How are there spuffies? How are there spuffies? Like I know, obviously, he tried to rape her. But then this, he's just like, you used me. He's like, bro, you just killed 20 people.
Yeah. I just don't know what they're doing. I just don't know what they're trying to say about Buffy herself. And it makes me very worried about the ending of the series.
Yeah.
Is Buffy going to be a bad guy at the end based off of what Joyce said and what Spike is trying to lay on her character?
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, it's when he started like blaming her for like, you used me and I hate myself, and I realized that you hate yourself and you took it out on me and all this shit. It's like,
and then
it's just so weird, man.
And then Buffy blamed herself too when she was talking to Webbs, and she's like, oh yeah, I was the worst. I was the worst person. It's like, well, you weren't great, but
it was complicated.
It was complicated, but yeah, I don't think it was.
I mean, we gave the excuse for her last time. But we were like,
absolutely.
Hey, totally get why you're going down this path, why you're acting like, yeah, fuck it, I'll hook up with Spike. Who gives a shit anymore? It doesn't matter. I'm going to die, and my friends will probably bring me back to life again anyway, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I've been brought back from heaven to this hell on earth.
Yeah. One of our Discord users shared a TikTok user, Maybe Maeve, who goes on a little rant about Buffy's, the Scoobs bringing her back and telling her that she has to like now deal with work and shit.
Yeah. Not only just like slaying vampires, but like, hey, we got these bills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We can't afford the house.
Working.
Welcome back. We're not going to help.
None of them are working except for Xander, who doesn't live there.
Willow and Tara.
Dude, people give
Willow
shit to Xander. People give shit to Xander, but he wasn't living there. He wasn't a financial burden to Buffy like Willow and fucking Tara and Dawn.
He let Spike move in with him for a couple of days, for a week, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah,
God.
I gave Buffy a big pass last season for having to come back from heaven.
Yeah.
That's a rough thing to deal with. But now they're just like, I get it. You used me. You took advantage of it too, Spike.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
But anyway, so yeah. So then we go back over to the room that Andrew's tied up in. And Xander comes back in there and he unties Andrew. He's like, hey, look, man, I'm sorry about that. Anya, she's kind of a loose cannon. And Andrew's like, yeah, she's a fucking psycho, dude. I remember one time I saw her have sex with Spike. And then Xander's like, okay, ouch. Still a little fresh wound for me. But I get it. I saw it too. I wasn't happy about it. But then Xander's like, look, man, she's killed a lot of men. Like, a lot. Like, she's tortured. Like, there's this one time, there's this guy that she just tortured and she ripped his heart out and replaced it with nothing but darkness. And he just had to go on living his life and go to work every day, just feeling that emptiness. And man, she's a fucking vengeance demon. That's what she does. And Andrew's sitting there, he's kind of like shaking in his boots because he's like, oh, fuck, that lady. That's who I'm dealing with. Because Andrew doesn't know that she's not a vengeance demon anymore.
Well, did he know she was a vengeance demon before? I don't even think he knows what a vengeance demon is. He doesn't even know what a vengeance demon is, technically.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I could see this as a point where people that don't like Xander don't love this. Him telling the story of how his heart was broken by Anya.
Yeah.
Here as like, I do like him saying it as a subtle threat. And then he's like, oh yeah, she ripped his intestines out and forced it in the face. But he's basically just opening up, saying how much his breakup hurt his heart.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things where it's like, well, I know you felt the way, but the breakup is more on you, Xander.
I didn't even feel like this was Xander talking about his true feelings about how the breakup is.
No, this was him. Yeah, this was completely him talking about like there was a guy he said there's a guy, she took his heart and he had to go to work and be around his friends and pretend like everything was all right. He's completely just talking about himself.
I know that, but I think he's using it more as like a threat versus like this is how he actually feels.
No, I think it's both. Because if it was just more of a threat, he wouldn't have added that other part at the end of like, oh yeah, she took his intestines out and made him like look at it because he had to throw more stuff in it. Yeah. They're definitely doing the two things equal one.
Well, if that is true, then I'm with you. Like Xander, you did leave the wedding.
Yeah, like you left
and then disappeared for days.
Yeah, I'm sure you were heartbroken. I'm still like, your feelings for her didn't change, but it wasn't like she just walked away from you.
Yeah.
But
as she's relaying this story to Andrew, Anya busts in and she just tackles Andrew to the ground and just like starts beating the shit out of him. And then Xander's like, whoa, Anya. And he grabs her and she turns around and slaps Xander. And Xander's like, yo, what the fuck? And Anya's like, I'm so sorry. I got a little carried away. And then she turns around and she starts beating up Andrew some more. And he's like, all right. I'll tell you all the info I know. I'll tell you everything I know.
Yeah, I thought the slap was going to do more. I thought it was going to lead to more. Xander? Yeah, I thought it was going to lead to something else. And I guess it was just like a funny.
It was a funny gag, though. I liked it.
Yeah.
But in the next room over, Buffy and Spike hear it. And Buffy's like, oh, Jesus, what the hell is going on over there? And Buffy's like, all right, I'm going to go check in on them. So she leaves, and as she closes the door, fake evil Spike appears.
I love that they decided to finally utilize the interesting hallway door situation they got up there. Like it's
they're constantly moving room situation.
Yeah, it's definitely a sitcom situation where it's like, okay, I got to run into this room. I'm having two parties at one time and I'm keeping it separate.
So Buffy goes over to that room where Andrew is and she's like, hey, what's going on here? And the visual is fucking hilarious. Is Xander standing above Anya and Andrew. Anya's like crouched over Andrew with her fist cocked back like she's about to punch the shit out of him, and Andrew's like on the ground like, ah. And Buffy's like, everything all good in here? And Anya's like, yeah, we're good. And Buffy's like, all right, cool. He closes. So then Buffy starts walking back to Spike's room, and she can hear Spike talking.
I do have a question. What is Willow doing?
She's just chilling downstairs on her MacBook, hanging out with Dawn.
No interest in trying to find out what's happening with Andrew, the guy that she just found and who has been involved in.
Dude, Willow's the fucking worst. That's all I can say. Willow's the fucking worst. She sucks.
Yeah, it's just, I
Tell
don't
me
know.
I'm wrong. She's not doing shit.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with these characters.
Yeah. I think they're making Xander better. Like, for as much as I've been like on defending Xander, I think Xander is like even better this season.
They just brushed over the him not telling Willow's thing to Buffy though this season. They brought that back.
That is true.
I thought that was done. They brought it back themselves and then just brushed by it. I didn't like that. I didn't like bringing it up like we remembered it, but then also not addressing it.
Yeah. So Buffy walks over and she can hear Spike talking to someone. And she's like, what's this? And she puts her ear to the door and she hears Spike saying, the job's half done. I guess I don't send a boy to do a man's job. And then he starts singing some song. And Buffy enters the room and she's like, who the fuck were you talking to? And Spike's like, what? And then we cut back to Anya and Andrew. And Andrew's standing up against the wall. And Anya's like, if you don't tell me that information, I'm going to beat the shit out of you even more. And then we go back to Spike's room.
Well, Andrew, in that scene, okay, yeah, you're right, yeah.
So then Spike's talking to Buffy and he's like, nothing's wrong. I wasn't talking to anybody. I'm fine. I'm chilling. The fuck are you talking about? And Buffy's like, what? I heard you talking to someone. Like, what's going on? Spike's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit peckish. Can I get some more blood? And Buffy's like, yeah, sure. And then she walks over to the blood, not taking her eyes off Spike the whole time. And Spike's not taking his eyes off Buffy. And then she's like, something fucked up's going on here. And then she turns around for a split second to grab the blood. And Spike gets vampire faced, bursts out of the chair. He's like,
wait, the vampire bursts out of a flimsy chair in Buffy's breakaway home. Who could have saw that coming?
Yeah, and then he just goes and he starts fighting Buffy and he punches her and they're fighting. And then Buffy gets decked and she falls down. And then we go back to Andrew's room and Andrew's like, all right, I'll tell you. Here's the information that you need. He's just about to give some kind of information. And as he's doing it, Spike rips through the wall with his arms, grabs Andrew and pulls him into the other room. And I was like, yo, that was badass.
That was cool. That was cool looking.
That was so dope.
Yeah. Tying him to a chair is not going to work if he can rip through walls. Buffy, you and him fucked and destroyed a building.
And that was while he was fucking.
Yes.
He was occupied. Jesus. But anyway. So he pulls Andrew through the wall and then just takes a bite out of fucking Andrew's neck. And Buffy smashes Spike into a wall. And then Spike awakens. Like he becomes like regular Spike again. And he looks up at Buffy and his mouth is full of blood. It's dripping blood from his chin. And Andrew's like, ow, man, that really freaking hurt, man. And Spike is like, what's going on? What happened? And Spike looks up at Buffy and Spike is looking up at everybody now who's like looking down on Spike like, what the fuck? And fake Spike is over there and he's got his arms crossed. He's just shaking his head like, God damn this fucking guy.
Dude, that look was amazing. Evil Spike looked at him like, you sad sack.
Yeah. And then Buffy just walks over and punts him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
She gives him like the Randy Orton punt to the fucking dome, dude. Like,
So I had in this scene, my question was, why did Anya and Xander go around and come through the door instead of through the hole in the wall?
Yeah.
They-
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I didn't put it in my notes, but I'm so glad that you brought that up because I thought the exact same thing.
Because it was like, oh, the door's locked and to get in. And I'm like, there's a giant human-sized hole to walk through.
Yeah. Dude, that effect when Spike grabbed him through the wall with just his arms bursting through, that was so dope.
I think it helps that when he pulls Andrew goes off his feet to
Mhm.
go through. It's not like he staggers back. He like completely like gets pulled back. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after Buffy knocks Spike out, they all go down and they're telling Willow and Dawn what happened.
What were Willow and Dawn doing? Just playing Uno or something?
Just eating ice cream downstairs.
How are they not like, all right, so we kill him now, right? We kill him?
Dude, even Spike is down for it at this point.
Yeah.
But so Xander and Anya come down and they're like, Buffy, what the hell happened in there? And Buffy's like, here's what happened to the best of my recollection. I went in to check on you and Andrew. When I came back, I heard Spike talking through the door. He was talking to somebody, and then he started singing. And then Anya goes, maybe it's another musical. I mean, maybe it's a crappier musical, but it could be another musical.
Xander.
Yeah. I love that they keep bringing that back. And then they're like, no, Anya, it's not another musical.
Yeah. She's like, I had a flashback where I was singing this season, so.
So then Xander's like, you know what I think this is? I think this might be a trigger for Spike, because he's like a sleeper agent for this from beneath you it devours thing. Like in the military, they did experiments with sleeper agents where they had like a trigger phrase or a trigger song or a keyword that would like cause them to start to do things. And Willow's like, wow, Xander, is this some leftover knowledge from like your days of being military guy? And he's like, no, actually, I forgot all about that. This is knowledge from me watching a bunch of army movies. But anyway.
apparently I said sleeper agent when we did the prediction for sleeper episode, the last one. I was like, oh, sleeper agent, but did not predict sleeper agent.
Yeah.
I didn't know who they would make a sleeper agent. I couldn't tell. I couldn't figure that. No.
But Xander puts it together like maybe the ghosts that are in Spike's mind have some way to control him with like this trigger, this song. And Buffy's like, all right, cool. You two, Willow, Dawn, you do research to see how we can undo this trigger. Xander, do you know how to undo the trigger? And Xander's like, I don't know. It's usually like they do the trigger and then the guy does a deed and then kills himself. That's how like all of those end. And Buffy's like, all right, well, we need to figure out how to defuse Spike.
We have to make sure Spike does not kill himself. If anything, he must stay alive.
If any of us need to survive,
Yes.
It's Spike.
Yes. If you have to die for him, make it happen.
So Willow and Dawn are going to do research to see what could be doing this to Spike. And like and then Buffy's going to try to figure out how to undo it. So then, curiously, we go over to Principal Wood. And Principal Wood is the end of the day. It's late at night. This is the hardest working motherfucking principal of all time.
In my note, I wrote, how is he still alive? That was my note at this exact moment. I was like, he works,
Yes.
He's at the school late at night by himself.
Yes.
Literally on top of the Hellmouth.
Yep. So he's closing up shop for the night. He's leaving his office and he starts to walk down the hall. And then he feels like a strange beckoning as he crosses one door. And he stops in his tracks and he's like, for some reason, I'm being drawn to this door. It's the door to the basement. I'm going to go check that out. So he goes down into the basement. He's walking down. And he goes into the basement. He sees Jonathan killed on that sewer grate thing. And he looks at him kind of like, huh. I wasn't there when I checked last time.
Yeah, this was very interesting.
Yes.
Very
it
interesting.
Was. I was like, ooh, what the hell's going on here with Robin Wood?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
So then we go back to Buffy's house, and Spike is tied up in the basement. He's knocked out. He's now not, tied up to a wall.
He is not tied up. He is in shackles in the wall, in the basement. And I'm like, why?
How was that not number one, right?
Yeah. And remember when Buffy was trying to kill everyone in the basement?
Yeah.
And they had that one monster and they tied him to that post?
Yeah, with rope.
Mm-hmm. Just they've tied things up before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was like,
they always escape.
But I was like, but I mean, the thing that was tied to the post couldn't get out until Buffy like freed it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, they
tied Spike to a chair with rope in Pangs, and he didn't escape. He was getting shot with like 90 arrows.
Yeah, and he was chipped though, or was he chipped then? I think he was chipped. I think he was chipped in Pangs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was chipped in Pangs. He was chipped in Pangs, and he was chipped in Pangs, and he wasn't just found with like 10 dead bodies in a house.
Yeah.
But they have shackles in the basement.
Yeah.
They used to lock up a werewolf. Gonna tie him to a chair.
Yeah, take him to where fucking Oz locked himself up. Remember, they had that.
they have places.
I can't believe they didn't rebuild library jail.
Yeah. I'm surprised that's not like part of the construction. Xander, put that in the blueprint. Say, hey, you know what we kind of need? We need to lock up some books, some really fancy books. So let's put a little prison, a book prison.
We see how fast a prison can be resurrected.
Or
join our Patreon.
Constructed. Resurrect. Revived. Yeah.
I think I meant to say erected.
Erected, yeah.
Anyway,
that's what it is.
Yeah. We see how fast one can be built on our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. If you want to know more about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of tie-ins with Angel in this one. Not direct, but similarities in tying people up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Spike is chained up in the basement, and Buffy brings him a bowl of dog water. Doggy bowl.
I thought that's what it was for at first, too.
I thought so, too.
I was like, that's hilarious. You want to act like a dog?
Yeah. But she's got a bowl of water, and she's got a rag, and she's like kind of nursing to Spike's wounds, I guess, from when she kicked him in the fucking head. And Spike wakes up, and he's like, did I hurt anybody? I'm so sorry. And then Buffy's like, yeah, you took a big bite out of Andrew. And Spike goes, who? Buffy goes, Tucker's brother. I love that they stick with this joke.
I love they stuck with that joke, and they just play it straight. This is a serious scene, but that joke is just there. I love it.
Yes. Well, they also referenced it earlier, too. They said something about, like, Andrew is a nobody or something, like, somebody makes a reference to how nobody knows who he is earlier. But then when they did this here, so fucking funny, man.
It's even funnier because Spike reacts as if he knows who Tucker is.
Right? Like, why would Spike know who Tucker is?
He knows Andrew because he's met Andrew.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though, because like you said, this is a very serious and poignant scene, and they just throw in that joke there. It's perfect.
So good. Yeah.
But Spike is like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember hurting him at all. And Buffy's like, don't worry about it, Spike. Something's controlling you. And it's some kind of thing where like you hear a song maybe, and it controls you and you lose your memory. And Spike's like, dude, will you please just fucking kill me? And Buffy's like, no. And Spike's like, do you have any idea what I'm capable of? And Buffy's like, no, I have an idea. And Spike's like, no, dude, you've never met the real me and how dangerous I can be. And Buffy's like, no, I've met the real you. You've done some fucked up shit to me. And Spike's like, trust me, dude, you got off easy. And he starts to tell Buffy about how he used to torture people and just drink enough of their blood to keep them alive so they could hear them crying and whimpering and screaming. And Buffy's like not fazed by that. And then Spike's like, you want to know what I did to girls Dawn's age? And then Buffy's like, winces a little bit. And then she's like, And Spike's like, no, I don't want to have to tell you, so just kill me.
Oh, when you were talking about murdering and torturing older women, I was like, eh. But when you said younger women, I was like, oh no, that's a step too far. Wait, and why was he holding back when he first met Buffy?
I had no idea.
When he showed up to Sunnydale, he was kill, murder, murder. It was no. I mean, he killed the chosen one or whatever that thing was.
The anointed one.
The anointed one.
The anointed?
The anointed, yeah. He's like, you never met the real me. I was like, what were you holding back for all the time? Did you love Buffy as soon as you saw her? You've killed two Slayers before.
Yeah. But, so Spike is like, please, you gotta kill me before I get out. Like, if you think that this is gonna hold me, like, you're wrong. Like, I will get out of this and I'll do fucking horrible things. So just kill me, please. And Buffy's like, nah, I don't think I can. And then Spike's like, have you ever asked yourself why you can't kill me? After everything I've done to you, your friends, your family, like, have you ever thought about that? Because it's not love. We both know that. And Buffy's like, well, I can't kill you because, you know, for as many people as you killed, you've saved people's lives. And Spike's like, what?
Yeah, when she said that, I was like, wait a minute, come on. Like, you're counting bodies now?
Yeah. And Spike's like, no, I'll tell you why you can't do it. It's because you like men who can hurt you. You love men who hurt you. And Buffy's like, no. And Spike's like, you need the pain. You need the pain they cause you, and you need the hate, and that's what fuels you. You need it to be a Slayer. And Buffy's like, no. And then Buffy does the I fucking hate this line. In real life, in movies, in everything. When Buffy goes, you don't know me. I hate that so much. Ugh. And Buffy's like, you're alive because I saw how you've changed and you did a penance. You went to get your soul back and you faced the monster inside of you and you fought him and you risked everything to be a better man. And you can be, and you are a better man. And I know because I've seen it. I've seen you change and I believe in you, Spike.
He's like, I literally have two faces. I just love that Anya never got this level of the episode before that. She had recanted a vengeance demon spell and changed. Literally it changed. And then she did another bad thing and it was like, nope, time to kill her.
Yeah. I mean, Anya confessed to Willow hey, I don't really like being a vengeance demon anymore. This isn't as fun as it used to be. Like, I actually feel kind of bad about some of the stuff that I'm doing.
Willow saw the dead bodies and was like, kill a bitch. Thanks for not killing me when I was killing when I tried to destroy the world. But
I never liked her. She started dating Xander, and I have like this weird ownership over him. So let's feed her to Spike this episode, actually.
Let's just joke about murdering her.
Jesus Christ.
Spike, you've done some good. Like that time that you tried to betray us with Adam. You had a chip back then, and you still claimed to love me. Then you were like hoarding demon eggs, and Riley had to stop you. Yeah.
Remember that time you chained me up in your basement and you were going to feed me to your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah. And then I think I found a bunch of bodies, but you were being controlled. But then when I confronted you about it, you got real defensive. And
there also wasn't really that much. There wasn't a lot of evidence to prove that you did that. Never really found it. Never really had an eyewitness, even though you admitted it.
If Willow would have seen you and came and told me and Xander about it, then I might have said, hey, I have to kill you. But because
then you were never mind the fact that you tried to rape me. That's water under the bridge.
You did that, and then you decided to get a soul. So all is forgiven. I'm a bad person. I like men that hurt me, apparently, and I hate myself.
I know I wasn't around to hear this, but I heard rumblings that the whole time that you were going to go get your soul, you were calling me a bitch, and that you were going to see, you'll see. And
yeah, Clem told me about that. Clem was like, you were really railing against me before you left.
I will say it is consistent with Spike telling Buffy that like she hates herself, because I mean that goes all the way back to the Spike flashback episode where he's like, you have a death wish and like you hate yourself and all that shit.
Well, the thing about the Slayers wanting the release of death played in with the whole death is your gift. They all like when it's time to die, they just kind of let it come when the fight's ending, and they're like, thank God this is over. That's why I was like, she's gonna hate coming back, because it's an awful life. It's an awful life. And she finally got a chance to leave it, and now she has to come back, and it's like, hey, look at this shit that you got to deal with right now.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why Buffy hates herself. That's the thing I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around.
It's because she's got an inferior complex wrapped in a superiority complex, and wrapped in an inferiority complex wrapped in a superiority complex.
Did she have that before she died?
I feel like there was that whole thing of like, didn't she and Faith have an argument about like, Faith thinks that she's better than everybody, and Faith was like, it's because I am better than everybody, and so are you. And Buffy had some kind of counterpoint of like, no, we're not better than everybody.
Yeah, but
that's just that argument happened.
Yeah, but that's more like power corrupts,
Yeah, but I feel like in the back of Buffy's mind, she does know that she is better than everybody, and like she has said a bunch of times to the Scoobs this season, like, you don't understand. You'll never have to walk this path. I'm the chosen one, and you guys just don't get it.
Yeah, I always took that as her way of not yelling at them for bringing her back to life, because she just doesn't feel like doing that.
Fair enough.
Of course they know she's better than them. They all brought her back, and they go to her every time. They've never...
Yeah.
Only person that's ever tried to overtake her leadership has been like Willow for like a little bit. Like Xander's never tried to be like in charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's literally called him a sidekick, and he does not even like flinch at that. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know why it's like her hating herself so much seems a little too far for what, like she could be complicated, but why did...
If she hates anybody, she should hate the Scoobs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can not like aspects about yourself too. Even like the way Spike puts it.
Boy, do I know
that. Yeah. Ditto. But the same with like Spike. Because Spike is like, hey, no, I've never hated myself, even when I was evil, the way you hate yourself. And I'm like, what? what is so wrong with Buffy? I feel like the show keeps telling us there's something wrong with Buffy. And
maybe
she's not
like
perfect.
she regrets. Yeah, she's not perfect. Maybe it's now like her regretting sleeping with Spike and using him because she was in that malaise. Maybe that's a little bit of a reason why she could hate herself.
Yeah, but that's one thing. But
that
seems
all gets, minor.
But that all gets chalked to like coming back from heaven. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like what? I give her a pass for all of that stuff after that, you know?
Yeah, and she also has apologized to Spike for that. She was like, hey, look, I was using you and it wasn't right. And I'm sorry about this.
I also told you when it was happening that I would never love you. You're a monster. And you just kept coming.
Yeah. Spike was like falling into that. He caught feelings. He, you know, like when it's like, hey, I'm just trying to fuck. All right, I'm just trying to fuck. This is a release for me. And Spike's like, I can change her.
Yeah. Which led to the rape attempt. He literally said that during the rape attempt.
Yeah, you never had that problem when I was fucking you.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that was all Buffy's fault for leading. Like, what? Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Like, the scenes sound good when you're listening to them and you're like, but then you're thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're going for when they're like, you like men that hurt you. And it's like, I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't think that's why she fell for Angel.
It's absolutely true. Angel, fucking Scott Hope called her a lesbo. Riley literally tried to fight her a bunch of times.
I don't think Angel tried to hurt her before she slept with him. Like, it wasn't like he hit her and then she was like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem pretty chill.
You seem pretty chill, and then he turned into Angelus.
Yeah. And she didn't love that.
No, did not love that.
She wasn't like, this is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, Riley didn't really try to hurt her. He was more like insecure himself.
Yeah, I guess that's the spin, because Riley was so nice and she couldn't like. But I think that's when they just were forcing the Spike part of the relationship, and he was like, she wants a monster. She needs a monster in her man. And I'm like, she was a little broken up by Scott Hope, and that is the least monstrous person you could have.
Yeah. I mean, she was broken up by Parker.
That was her first fuckboy experience.
Yeah.
But that's like, yeah, if Buffy was the Parker in this Spike hookup situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like Buffy was pining over Parker, but Parker put in the, that groundwork, making it seem like he was into her too.
Yeah.
I don't know, that the Parker situation was like, live and learn. It sucks, but like at least you realize they're not all good. They're not all good, It was young.
Yeah, he never was like, I'm into you. He did lay the groundwork like with the dead dad thing, which you think was a lie.
Yes, I think because he was using that as a sympathy to get you to go for it. Like he was saying he would have said whatever. He was
a charmer. He was a fuckboy. He wanted to just get it in. But Buffy, her approach to Spike was never like, oh, my mom's dead. My dad left me. She was like, from the start, like, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't be doing this. You're a monster. Mm-hmm. Like, after the first time they fucked, she was like, oh, disgusted with herself openly in front of him.
Yeah.
And she was like, ew, you're gross. He was like, you want to have another roll in the hay? And Buffy's like, get the fuck away from me, you disgusting freak.
But as we learn from Faith, slang makes you horny.
That's true.
So, I mean, what is she supposed to do? She doesn't have an outlet. Like, when she had Riley, they were going at it.
Bro, I'll never forget that horrible montage of them killing a demon and fucking.
Yeah. While the professor watched her student and her pseudo son soldier.
So weird. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't know why Buffy would hate herself here.
I mean, you could hate yourself for sleeping with Spike, but then that's just that one element. Like, do you hate yourself for how you treat your friends? Because you don't treat your friends bad. You give them way too much. You give them way too long a leash.
Yeah, each of them should have been killed, except for maybe Xander. Yeah, Xander too, yeah.
Yeah, they all, yeah.
They all deserve a good spanking.
Yeah. I mean, Willow literally brought you back and then tried to fight, then beat the shit out of you, tried to kill your sister, and then destroy the world.
Yeah. And Anya's one of your best friends.
Friends.
Dude, when he said that, I was fucking wild.
Yeah, I was like, get the best out of there. She's she's a classified friend, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know why Buffy would hate herself, to be honest with you, but
I'm excited for the lively discord that will lead to.
Yeah. But anyway, so Buffy's, after her little monologue to Spike about like, hey, I believe in you, Spike, the electric goes out. And those cloaked people that we've been seeing, they all burst in. There's some more windows broken. Xander's got to be working overtime.
How do you ever sleep at night? Like, ever? I would need a safe. They need to build a safe room and all sleep in a safe room every night because this is insane.
Yeah. They just need, like I said, why would you even bother like getting more furniture? Like they need to live in a flop house.
Yes. And
mattresses on the floor, maybe create like a panic room.
If you were Buffy, wouldn't you just be guilt-ridden every night that you did something that wasn't patrol? Because she's not on patrol now. Like she's literally watching Spike, right?
Yeah.
So, when you go out on patrol and you save like 3 or 4 people from being killed by vampires at night, so you're not out. So that's what, 3 to 5 deaths that we can chalk up.
It's like a triage situation where you got to like pick what's the biggest threat. Like I guess at this point, from beneath you it devours is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
But then she's going to have fucking ghosts haunting her like she did at the very first episode of this season where they're like, where were you? We died at this school.
Buffy, for someone who hates herself, didn't give a shit about those ghosts. She's like, fuck your problems. Where's my sister?
Yeah. So yeah, these cloaked people break in and they start smacking Buffy around. They're attacking Anya and Xander and Willow and Dawn. And then we cut away from that to Principal Wood digging a grave for Jonathan in like the middle of nowhere near some like oil rigs and shit. And he throws Jonathan into this grave, starts burying him. And I was like, Jesus, Principal Wood.
I wrote interesting.
Well, it's obviously like from beneath you it devours is controlling him, unless he's a sleeper agent.
I think we would have seen something now. Like that's the thing about the sleeper agent thing. I don't know how it can it just control vampires? Because it's not controlling Andrew without Warren. It's using the ghost of Warren and his obsession with Warren to control. It used Cassie to try to use Tara's words to control Willow. It used Joyce, maybe, if it is Joyce's ghost or if it's the thing from beneath. So I don't know if it can just literally hop in your body and control you.
I think it can influence you. I mean, the principal literally works right above the Hellmouth. Like that's going to fuck.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Maybe this is the principal just covering shit up like all the principals at Sunnydale.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting.
Yeah, like I'm at a point where I'm not willing to say this has something to do with the first yet, unless he's also part of this group too. He could just be part of the group that we find out later. He could be an uncloaked cloaked man.
Oh, but the cloaked people that we see later, they have like their eyes gouged out and shit.
Yeah, and they're from before. But sometimes you need people on the outside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, to your point, when Principal Wood goes downstairs and sees Jonathan's body, he looks at it like,
yeah. It's not like it's his first time seeing a dead body at all.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you could be right.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting twist on it.
Yeah. I like what they're doing with his character. I like this opening scene. Him being like, he's like kind of smart and clever, but also it was nice. It was nice juxtaposition in that opening scene with him. And he's a good actor too.
I was just about to say that he's a good actor. I like him. He's got a great voice too.
I will say I didn't think he could handle the Whedonisms when we first saw him, when he had to do the weird little jokey stuff. But he does he has something I like.
Yeah, he's like slotted in nicely. And dude, he's got the smoothest head. His head is like immaculately shaved, like, and it's so smooth.
Just never know what's going to get talked about on this podcast. That's why I love doing this. Did not have that on my bingo card. Is Joe going to mention smooth head Principal Robin Wood?
It's so smooth, dude. It's glorious. So yeah, he's burying Jonathan in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So then we go back to Buffy's house and Willow's fighting off like one of these cloaked guys. And Dawn just beats the shit out of one.
I guess she has been practicing.
That's what I was about to say. Maybe she has been training with Buffy a bit more. We saw her shooting the arrow when she was singing the Anchovy song or whatever.
She fired that off by accident. That made me think that she hadn't been.
But yeah, Buffy's fighting the cloaked guys, and then a bunch more show up, and then they start to pull out these giant like blades, these curved blades.
We get double knives.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have this note. Willow doesn't use her witch powers and just gets knocked out.
Yeah.
I know that's plot. I know that's plot reasons because you have a super powerful witch and she can just solve everything. But it is weird that she just lets herself get knocked out.
Yeah.
And she definitely has her rage under control if she saw Andrew and didn't even hint at going black-eyed.
Yeah. And she starts to like even when she's like threatening him, it's like jokey.
Oh, it was
like,
a weird
Willow,
scene
goddess
too.
of death. Yeah, it was.
It was like weirdly acted. It felt.
I mean, it's what I always say. It was a scene in the daytime, so it's weird.
Yeah.
Sunnydale in the day is weird.
A dude dropped a bunch of blood in the store, runs out into the alley, and everyone's just like, "All right, I have ticket 6. I'm number 6. So what do I want for dinner today? What do I want my last meal in Sunnydale to be?"
So the cloaked guys, they take out these giant blades and they're gonna go kill Andrew. And Buffy saves Andrew, and she's fighting the cloaked guys. Dawn wakes up and grabs a weapon. She's got like this big like wooden staff, and she's like gonna fight the cloaked guy, and the cloaked guy trips her, and then Xander saves her. And then Buffy starts using Andrew as both a shield and a weapon, which was hilarious.
That was so funny.
She's just like shoving him into these cloaked guys, like knocking him out.
Yeah.
And then Buffy like stabs one of the guys with one of their own daggers, I think.
She stabs 2 of them. Yeah, stabs both of them in the gut, and then rips the blades out. The blades are surprisingly bloodyless.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. This is a show where we just see blood all the time, but there's nothing on those knives. And I'm sure it's like kind of censored. They're like, wait, this is human? Wait, I don't know. What
do you think it's censored or
no,
it's
not
because they're like demons?
It's blood everywhere. We just seen Jonathan get his neck slit too. Like,
they
were stabbed in the stomach and he was bleeding. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally a show about vampires. There's got to be blood.
Yeah, you're right.
We saw
I don't know.
Spike like 2 scenes ago suckling on the teat of.
And we see something later too. That's why I was like, what? No, it can't be.
Yeah. So Xander shows up and he's like, "Hey, Buffy, are you all right?" Well, I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Wait a second. They're probably after Spike. Is Spike still in the basement? And they rush down into the basement and Spike is gone. And it's like, of course.
Good plan, Buffy.
Yep.
Now, does Buffy hate herself because this?
Foreshadowing hating of herself. So then we have a scene of all the Scoobies. They're all like kind of nursing their wounds. And they're like, man, they were after Spike this whole time. Them fighting us was just to distract us from them getting Spike.
I don't know. They were going to kill all of you guys.
Yeah. They were going to kill Andrew for no reason.
we still don't know why they killed those women that we saw in the beginning of those couple episodes.
Yeah. So Buffy then is like, guys, don't worry. I know who these guys are. I'm looking at their faces and their carved out eyes and shit. I recognize these guys. I fought them before. We aren't being haunted. It's all the same things. From beneath you, it devours. It's all the same. This is the first evil. And I was like, I remember hearing that name, but I don't remember what they're from.
I remember the first evil. Remember when Jenny Calendar came back and she was taunting Angel?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, you don't remember.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I think that might have been the amends episode. I think it might have been amends. Remember, she jumps down into a sewer.
Yes,
she jumps down into
Jenny Calendar.
Jenny Calendar,
yes,
and it was a bunch of morphing. And Angel was in his ivory tower, and he kept being taunted by all the people. And that was when we found out that the first can morph into a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all been set up like this whole morphing thing. Because I remember Jenny Calendar showed up and it was like, I'm the first. And Buffy was like talking shit to her and then broke something. And he was like, I'm not gone. I'm just disappearing for a while. And it disappeared. And she had to fight all those cloaked men with the no eyes that were doing like a spell underneath. Because she was buying a Christmas tree, I think. And then she jumped into a sewer grate thing. And then I think Angel was about to kill himself on the roof. I think it was amends. It might have been a different episode, but I'm not sure if it's the same one. But
it's around then.
Yeah, because
that's what it took the form of Jenny Calendar.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you remembered that. Like, it just, a light bulb went off in my head when you said that.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, the first. Because I remember, because we haven't seen the face of these people. And then when we see them in the eyes, I was like, oh, yeah, the cloaks. And you know what's crazy? They had the same blades, too, I think. I think they had those same curved daggers, but that was from season.
To go back and watch.
That was from season 2? Yeah.
I think 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
probably 3. Probably 3 because
yeah,
Angel's back and yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
I mean,
and I remember they brought the
callback.
first. They brought up the first, and I just let that go away. So it's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't go back, but I was like, I think
4 seasons in the making, dude.
Now, if this is the men's episode, an episode that you reference a lot on this podcast,
that terrible episode.
This might be the most important episode of the entire show.
That would be so ironic. Anytime I bring up that episode, I go, like, the episode that nobody likes.
The episode that set everything up. I don't remember
the most crucial episode of the entire series.
Oh my God. Is that the episode? I didn't go back to look it up. I'll probably do that after the podcast, but
yeah. You know what? Let's fucking do it right now.
All right,
I'm going to do it right now.
All right, fine. Fine, listeners. You're going to get real time searching. All right.
Vance, vamp for a little bit.
So, anybody see any good movies?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's anything else I wanted to bring up about.
It is amends.
It is amends?
It is amends.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, my God, dude.
Because I just remember it being Christmassy and them buying a tree and her jumping down the sewer grate.
Yeah. It's very possible. It's very powerful and impossible to kill. Oh my God. Yeah, Giles found out the force taking over Angel is called the first evil. Holy shit, dude.
Was that the episode where Giles... No, that was season 4 where Giles just talks to someone in the cemetery, right? Remember Giles just goes into the cemetery and talks to like a monster demon or something, and like people are running behind him. I forget what episode that is, but he's like, I gotta go get some information. He just talks to some spirit in the cemetery.
I remember where I think it's the O'Toole episode, the Zeppo, where he's talking to like the Fates or something.
Yeah, it's one of those episodes where he's just randomly talking to the Fates, and then I think And then Xander and stuff is happening in the other part of the grave. Yeah. The cemetery.
And he like asked Giles for help, and Giles is like, not now, idiot.
I do love that it is a men's.
That's hilarious. Dude, that realization, Discord has been fucking yucking it up.
Oh, man.
Probably in that spoiler talk about how big of idiots we are that amends sucks. I still say that it sucks. But if it's the most critical, crucial fucking episode, that's so funny.
Oh, there might be an episode that makes it on the rewatch list at the end of this.
Unfortunately, it's going to have to.
I think I did like the Jenny Calendar part, but I definitely didn't like that episode as much as everyone else.
I mean, they all knew how important it was.
I know, if you know how important Amends is and you've rewatched the series, of course, you're getting
my God,
oh, wow,
dude.
that's the first.
Fucking egg all over my face.
This is why.
So funny,
this
dude.
is why I've never said anything bad about the show. Just to cover my tracks. I think Spike should survive even longer.
This is so funny, dude. This is hilarious.
That reveal, I was like, holy shit, they brought back the first. This is what I'm saying. The show knows the stuff that they like bring up and leave.
Yeah, it set it up. Yeah, if they left it hanging. Wow. That's from 4 seasons ago, dude. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I've been talking so much shit, dude.
Amends that episode that no one likes is the most important episode of the whole series.
Oh my God. Set everything in motion. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. All right. We got to move on from this. It's fucking hilarious.
This is why we got so many shout outs to do. People knew what was coming.
Yeah, they knew. They were like, oh, they're going to have a nice little revelation in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. So anyway, after Buffy tells them that, yeah, this is the first evil, we cut back to the Watchers Council, and the Watchers Councils, they're all freaking out. They've lost information, they've lost communication, and they've lost Watchers. They're all like in a panic. They're in a tizzy, and they've been crippled. And Quentin Travers starts to give this speech about how like, no, we're not through yet. We are the captains of our souls. We are the masters of our own fate. And our fears have been warranted. The first evil is back, and they've declared war. And we need to strike back. We need to get our resources together, and we need to declare the highest of high red alerts. And we need to recall all of the Watchers and bring them back to England. And we need to formulate a plan, because we're going to go and we're going to plan a visit to the Hellmouth in Sunnydale, California. And then he quotes Proverbs 24:6, which is something about, something about Watchers. And he's like, and we will not go quietly into the night or whatever.
He gives the Independence Day speech.
Yeah. And then you cut to outside of this building, and it just blows the fuck up.
Now, I laughed.
Yeah.
One, because the effect is terrible.
Yes.
2, I was waiting for him to get his head chopped off the whole speech. Because, again, when this came out, there wasn't as much stuff. But since then, Deep Blue Sea has come out. There's been so many things that happen where someone gives a long speech and then they're just dead, or something bad happens, or the joke. So when he's giving this speech, and I'm like, we've never heard them do anything. The Watchers are stupid. And I was like, okay, what's going to happen to him? Is that lady standing behind him, like, who's like off? That one lady who like did her thesis on Spike, is she just going to like cut his head off because the first is like in charge of her, or like manipulating her? I was like, something weird is going to happen. And then they just cut outside of the building. And I had to go back because I was writing a note, so I missed how this scene started. The scene starts with an establishing shot of a building, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I just need to make sure that the building that they established is the same building that got blown up. It is not. It does not look like the same building. I went back and I was like, what? Why would you not just cut back to the same? Why would you not have the shot be the shot that's going to blow up in front of it? Why does it look like we cut to a different building and blew it up?
I mean, maybe it is a different building.
Then what is it? Like,
Yeah,
I was like laughing and then I was like confused.
Yeah, I mean, I was confused because I also was probably writing a note because I didn't see that establishing shot at the beginning of the scene.
Because like, you know, behind the curtain, you know, the scene's happening. We were like, oh, let's get that information down because we just learned about the first. Like, I was in my head about the whole first and the underground cult. I was like, holy shit, what's going on, right? And then that scene happens, and I was like, okay, they have to establish the outside of the building, or did they just cut straight into the place? Because otherwise, if you cut outside the building, you don't know which building blew up. So I went back, and it's a different shot of an outside of a building.
Well, then maybe it is a different building.
But I think just narrative language of TV and cinema is that explosion. If it's not the Watchers Council blowing up, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
So I think it has to be them getting blown up, but it's kind of anticlimactic too. Like, they didn't even do like let's turn a fan on real quick to like have like a gust of, you know, wind blow them and then cut outside. So it looks like the explosion mirrored, you know? It just like he finishes his speech, is silent, we cut outside, and then it's the worst effect of an explosion of a building ever.
It was bad. It was like a fake video game-esque building, and then just like horrible explosions over top of it.
Yeah.
Like it looked like something from Saturday Night Live or something.
It was like a plug-in effect of an explosion. I don't know.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
So I guess I'm okay if the Watchers are all dead, but whatever.
Are you? Because if they are all dead, we never got answers about
We
who
never
they
were
are
going to
and what
get
they are.
answers. It's 7 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't. I was like, yeah, fine, let's just get rid of this.
So after the presumably Watchers building gets blown up, we go to Spike being tied up yet again. This is the third time in this episode of him being tied up.
At first, when the scene started, they show like the knives and stuff all laid out, and I was like, holy shit, this is going to be good. Spike is going into serial killer mode.
Yeah. But no. It's Spike getting tied up to some kind of like wooden cross, and fake Spike is talking to him. They're like, oh man, you're about to get fucking tortured, buddy. We could have done this easier, but you had to go and get a soul and make this all complicated. So now we're going to have to do this the hard way. And one of the cloaked men grabs like a torture stabby stab device, and Spike gets like stabbed off screen. Mm-hmm. And I wrote in my notes, probably ball stuff. Because he gets stabbed like a bunch of times, and you see his reactions to it, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, the reactions to what we find out are not the same facial reactions that you would have.
Yeah, because he's like getting branded.
No, they're carving the symbols into him. It's not branded; they're cutting him. But the sound and what we get, it seems like they're like gutting him and taking out organs.
Yeah. But they're just like carving in those little symbols. And he's got like 3 or 4 of them. Like, obviously it would hurt.
Oh, absolutely. But it would be it would be more of a wincing pain than a.
Like a. But, and he's going like.
And you're
like
hearing
a guttural.
And you're hearing.
Like,
what is that? Yeah.
I thought that he was going to be naked too, but they kept his pants on.
He's not asleep, Joe.
The first evil's evil, but they ain't gay. Ew. Put your dick away, bro. But yeah, then they like, you know, they tilt Spike down into
can we just say that this is in the school basement?
Yeah.
They have rigged up a lot of shit down here.
It's the first evil, man.
Like, that's a pulley, like a thing that you can tie him to that's on on an anchor that you can crank him over top so that he's lying horizontal over it. Way too elaborate.
Yeah. And he's like on the ceiling too. Like he's up high.
Yeah, it's a high cranking thing. Like, why?
Yeah.
It's a basement too. Why is it that high of a ceiling in the basement of the school?
Dude.
Xander, your construction team knew what was going on. Let's build this secret room and not put a floor on it. Let's just put dirt over it.
Yeah. But yeah, fake Spike's talking is like, all right, well, since Jonathan's blood didn't work, we couldn't get that little piggy, and stupid ass Andrew couldn't get the fucking blood from the butcher shop. We're just gonna have to use your blood.
Yeah, that's all.
And
all same. Yeah, human blood, vampire blood, pig's blood.
Pig blood.
Yeah, all
fresh
the same.
pig blood or pig blood from the butcher, doesn't matter. All we know is fucking Jonathan's blood didn't work. All right.
Yeah, but I'm sure a vampire with a soul's blood's just as good. Why? There's no reason this should work. Man.
But then fake Spike turns into fake Buffy, and she starts taunting him. And I didn't really write what she said because evil mumbo jumbo.
I do like evil Buffy.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what the Joyce thing is, because then it's going to turn into Buffy at the end and do something where Dawn thinks Buffy's turning on her. Like, that's why they need code words, man. I've said this before with the body switch stuff. There just needs to be a code word.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I think the first would know the code word. I think it just knows too much.
Yeah, the first knows a lot about them, as Willow said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Spike starts bleeding all over this super grate, and then the grate opens up into, I noted this, it's like the exact same pyramid from the Scooby-Doo movie.
Yes, it is. It's the, what is that thing called? What was that thing called in the Scooby-Doo movie?
Yeah, I forget what it was called in the Scooby-Doo movie. But patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. It opens up just like that.
Yeah, with that like fake digital, and it's the same year. Yeah, they probably used the same effect company.
Yeah, Josh was like, "Hey, Sean Gunn, do you mind if I use that? Can I steal that from you?"
It like falls.
James Gunn. Sean Gunn's his brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, this grate opens up into a little pyramid thing, and it goes down into the lower depths of hell, and from beneath, a hideous, slimy, gray, gooey vampire shows up, and fake Buffy's like, "You want to see evil? This is real evil."
She says, "Want to see what a real vampire looks like?"
Yeah.
And we get a Nosferatu looking vampire demon, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Buffy.
I feel like we've seen scarier things.
So Buffy's just gonna put a stake through its chest, or do what she did with the Master and throw him down he lands on like a wooden skeleton thing and dies. Like what? Why is this thing a threat? Now it has a physical form that's less scary.
They fought a hell god. You think this is fucking just regular ass? I mean, I know he's not a regular. He's like a super vampire.
At least Glory had to find the right thing to open the portals. Like, I have to find the key, and the key has to be human, because the monks are stupid. Because if they would have made it a bike, I don't know what I would have done, because there wouldn't have been any blood to drain from it.
Make it a grain of sand. A
Done.
Molecule of water.
Done. but make it something that bleeds, because the prophecy said it needs blood. Okay, sure, whatever. But why? So like vampires can't feed off of other vampires.
Yeah.
So why would a vampire's blood open this thing?
Because he's a vampire with a soul?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's like where the episode ends, is just this slimy vampire screaming at the screen.
It's like this high angle, like
I've been trained to not worry about vampires at this point.
Yeah.
Like
I'm afraid of mutant hybrid demon robot
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've seen a hell god. We saw the most powerful witch in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then now it's just like a mega vampire. Like, that was the master.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there'll be cool little things, and we'll get more mind trip stuff, but yeah. Like, I'm more like, again, Angelus, I like it's a threat. When it comes to vampires that are threats, I like Spike. I like Angelus. I like Darla. Yeah. Even though Darla got taken care of very easily.
I like Drusilla. Drusilla's like crazy.
Yeah.
This guy is just like, he's just slimy.
Yeah, and if you're this old, you can't really turn your face back and forth. So they have to have all their like minions and, as they call them, harbingers.
Maybe he's just like a vampire in its purest form or something.
Yeah, he's the first. But not, is he supposed to be more than, I guess he's more than the master?
I guess. Maybe he's who sired the master.
Maybe if you kill this one, you kill all vampires.
Oh, it's going to be one of those situations?
And then Angel has to be like, no, Buffy, you can't kill him because I love being a vampire. I still got another season of my show to do, so.
It could be that it only kills all the vampires in Sunnydale.
All the vampires.
On the Hellmouth.
All the vampires without souls.
Yeah.
Will it turn us back into real boys? No, you can't ever. No, that can't.
No, that can't be.
No, we can put a magical chip in your head that makes you stop hurting people, but it's impossible to unvampire you. That's science hasn't evolved to that point yet.
Or witchcraft, or magic,
or
anything.
But we can make
cannot be done.
We can make up a whole sister for Buffy, but turning a vampire back into a person,
we can magically create life and memories, but vampire back to a regular person? Nah.
We can trade the life of one vengeance demon for 12 frat boys, but love this show.
Yeah. So that is a wrap for Never Leave Me. Anything else to say about this one, Vance?
No answer about Giles.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's why he's going to be able to come back.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Didn't like that.
You think he's going to come back with an eye patch and a hook for a hand?
If that happens, you're just going to clap for like 20 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah, I would be so happy. I've been waiting for that.
That would be amazing.
Season 4.
That'd be amazing. That would be the only way to bring him back with that swing. Like he put his hand up and he lost his hand and somehow got his eye too.
His eye.
If he came back like that and they were like, what happened? He's like, axe. I'd be like, hilarious.
I've been waiting for this for about as long as the first evil has been waiting to factor into the show again.
Buffy, ask Spike more about getting the soul.
Yeah. I hated how he like played the pronoun. He was like the most vague. So a guy who can do things. Is that it? Yeah.
You don't have to be secretive. It's not like she's going to go to get one herself. What are you worried about? Tell her what happened.
I traveled halfway around the world to see a man who was able to do certain things. Is that it? No. There were trials.
Go ahead. Fire for hands.
Tribulations.
She's like, yeah, I've seen Fire for Hands. I'm a cheerleader, you know?
Yeah. Next episode. Next episode is titled Bring On the Night.
I'm like thinking of another show that we're watching.
Yeah. You think that's going to factor in on that?
No. It's so isolated because of science and astrology.
Yeah, because that's how it works.
I think this is we get to see this the first just running amok. Maybe we finally get Sunnydale in Wishverse, and they finally have to have a curfew because the vampires are working the streets openly again.
Okay, I like that. Bring on the night. I have no idea what. Yeah,
I want to see some chaos. Some chaos.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I'm gonna fucking. Here we go. Batman shows up. He says his classic line of "I am the night." Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's a prediction for you.
So just substitute Batman for Giles and you're good.
Yeah, there we go. Giles comes back. He says, I am the knight. And that is a wrap, everybody. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /corner. Join our Discord. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Clown me specifically for trashing Amends for so long, not realizing that it played such an important role potentially in this show.
We've gotten some pitches for t-shirts.
Oh yeah,
and maybe amends that episode that no one likes.
I need to make amends to the episode Amends.
Joe's quote, amends that episode that no one likes.
Yeah, join our Discord. Not looking forward to the trashing I'm about to receive. You have to think of the information that I was presented with at the time. I didn't know that it was so important. But yeah, join the Discord.
That was the episode where we learned that vampire can smell sunlight.
Yeah. One of those superpowers that they just keep adding on to.
Yeah.
We got merch. Amazon wish list. If you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, let's take a screenshot of it, send it in to us. Follow the Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. Email is boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And yeah, stay tuned next time for when we talk about Bring On the Night.
What are you doing back in town?
You'll get nothing out of me, Carpenter.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.